Well, welcome into Michiana Unsolved. We're taking a little bit of a turn, as you can see, First Alert Meteorologist Andrew Whitmyer joining us right now because we have what was it, severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued?
Yeah, that was popped up around Michigan City, LaPorte, New Buffalo areas, and that was just before 8:50 a.m. Now, I do want to start that our weather service, our radar, which is down in North Webster, that is currently down right now. So they are using radar sites from up in the Grand Rapids over towards Chicago. So likely the warning that was issued was just all in precaution. I still don't think we're in a threat here for severe weather for an active weather day in regards to that. And for a severe thunderstorm warning, you need hail. That is a quarter inch or larger, or 60-mile-per-hour winds or greater. Technically, it's 58 miles per hour or greater for those wind speeds. Let me know if you are in Michigan City or LaPorte once this thunderstorm passes on through, if you did receive any damage. Otherwise, I really think the culprit here is heavy rain, maybe some very small hail, and maybe some gust of wind of 48 miles per hour. Now, Christine, we're looking at the radar image here. They did just to go ahead and expire the severe thunderstorm warning for all locations in Michiana. Still out for the far northeastern portion there of Porter County. That's in effect until 9:30 Eastern time, 8:30 Central time. We're going to go ahead and take off that warning, though, and I just want to show you that line that we are watching, and that's bringing with it a lot of lightning as well. Look at all those lightning bolts. If you're traveling along I-80 this morning from South Bend headed toward Chicago, boy, are you in for a lightning show this morning as that continues to move its way towards the south and east this morning. Again, I doubt we get any more severe weather from this, and this will continue to weaken as it does move its way south and east. But if you do find yourself underneath of this line, heavy downpours due to all the tropical air that is out there. It certainly feels like a very humid day once again in Michiana, as well as some downpours. Now, some of us are going to stay completely dry from this, while others, again, are going to have these downpours ongoing. Now, we're going to walk you through Future Track here. I'm going to try to pop it up for you so you can see kind of what we're expected to get for the remainder of the day. And we're going to go ahead and replay it here and zoom on out for all of Michiana to kind of see what to expect here. And again, we have these downpours rolling on through right now. Some of us will stay completely dry this morning, while others, again, deal with these downpours. Notice by noon, Future Track tries to increase the sunshine. Going to be hot and steamy, heat indices, Christine, into the 90s. And due to all this heat and humidity, we'll have to watch out for this evening. Maybe another round of some bubbling showers and thunderstorms that could try to bubble on up. So something we're going to keep watching here in First Alert weather. Again, still not anticipating this not to be a severe weather day, which is why there is no First Alert weather day. And again, that severe thunderstorm warning was issued for Michigan City, New Buffalo, LaPorte, for the potential of a gust of wind to 60 miles per hour. Again, let me know if you do have any damage in those areas once the lightning is cleared from your location. Otherwise, the bulk of this, again, Christine, just a bigger bark than bite.
It was interesting. We were watching it all morning long, and it was almost just all of a sudden you said, oh, things are starting to pop up over Lake Michigan, and we slowly start making its way, and then all of a sudden it just felt like this just hit. Is that kind of what you felt when you were watching it this morning?
That's kind of what I was expecting this morning when we were live tracking this starting at 5 a.m. saying, hey, we were going to get these clusters of storms right around the heart of the morning commute around 8, 9, 10 a.m. And that's exactly what we were seeing on radar this morning. And as that approached, again, the southern mouth end there of Lake Michigan, I had the photo posted on my Facebook page from our First Alert weather camera in Michigan City, showing that nice little baby shelf cloud. And that's usually an indication of some brief gusty wind speed whenever you see a cloud like that. And that's what we were seeing, again, on the radar image this morning around 7 to 8 a.m. And now, again, this is working its way, again, off of Lake Michigan. And as it does, it's likely going to continue to weaken. I really think the bulk of the worst part of the storms right now are across far northwestern Indiana right now, right along the Indiana Toll Road. And we'll go ahead and zoom on into this for those of you that are watching from LaPorte right now. Again, look at all those reds there. Some very, very heavy rainfall. Wouldn't be surprised if some folks, again, traveling westward on I-80 this morning are likely using their hazards on, as this is very heavy rainfall rolling on through. We're going to even get a nice downpour here in the South Bend. No severe weather, but some lightning, maybe a gust of wind to 30 miles per hour, but nothing that is going to be severe. Again, for a severe thunderstorm warning, you need wind gusts 58 miles per hour or greater, and or hailstones that could be a quarter size or larger, 1 inch in diameter, and or a possible funnel cloud or tornado. So again, I don't see that being the case for the remainder of the day, something that we'll keep watching here in First Alert Weather. And we have another round, Christina, this active weather that's going to head our way for tomorrow, another round of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Our First Alert Weather team is going to be analyzing that data here as we go over the next hour, as that could bring another round of some active weather for tomorrow. And then luckily behind this, you've been asking all morning long.
Oh
when's
my
the humidity
gosh, yes,
gonna break?
over it.
Once the cold front passes through tomorrow, once the storms are done tomorrow evening, we're done with the humidity for the rest of the week.
It's been torture. You know, I'm going to see what I can do here, because you mentioned that this is going to make its way into South Bend, and I'm just taking a look outside our window. It's getting pretty dark, so I'm not exactly sure which one. Okay, this is downtown South Bend, so I want to take you on a little journey.
And look behind, if we can stay on this camera, look behind the Morris right there.
Yeah.
See that little cloud that kind of looks like a little mushroom head on it? That's that little baby shelf cloud that I was talking about that we were seeing way up at the southern mouth in there of Lake Michigan. So that's an indication there, maybe some brief gusty wind speeds that's going to move on into downtown South Bend, likely around 30 miles per hour, as well as some lightning and certainly some downpours.
Interesting, and that makes sense. I'm trying to get, you're so much better at, I'm like, never eat soggy waffles, trying to figure out. But you're right, that's a northwest, right?
Right.
Going into
right.
To
so
southeast,
if you were looking from this right now, you'd be looking towards Lake Michigan, theoretically.
Right, exactly. No, that makes sense. I want to see what else we have on here. Let's see what else. Okay, Notre Dame. Again, we can see this, like you said, rolling on into the South Bend area.
Right, and again, our radar site is down right now, down in North Webster. So again, we're relying on all the radar data right now to come through Chicago, which does a pretty decent job for areas west of US 31. But once you get east of 31, it can become a little bit hairy as far as that decent, reliable radar picture goes.
Well, and if you, that one's out. If you guys have any pictures of what's going on here, let us know. This is a view of Mishawaka. So it's not there yet, but you can
already
still
see the little drop
for
of water
sure.
there. So again, hopefully you brought your umbrella. You listened to me and brought your umbrella. If you have any plans to be out there over the next hour, you're going to need it. Luckily, though, Christine, again, by 11 noon, most of this is out of the area, and we're going to see some clear skies, and it's going to get really steamy, I think. Once this passes on through, even more than what it is right now.
I'm so interested in these sky views because we're really seeing a lot here. Do you see that cloud right there? Am I making that up? Or
no. So again, that's the little gust front that you're going to see there. Again, nothing significant, just maybe a few gusts of wind to 30 miles per hour. But if we can go back to radar real quick, I just want to continue to highlight.
Wait, I'm not done with my journey around Michiana.
See the sun that's coming out of the backside?
You were about to cut me short, Andrew, and I was like, let me finish my tour. Where is this, Michigan City?
Yeah, it's Michigan City right now. You can see the lake in the background.
Through, right?
That just passed through. In fact, I posted at about 8:45 this morning Eastern time, as they're on Central time.
Yeah.
You couldn't even see any of that.
Yeah.
It was torrential rainfall, very soaking rainfall. But look again, there's the sunshine I mentioned on the backside. So that's what we're gonna see by about 11 noon, back again for areas that are dealing with the cloud cover right now.
You're welcome for not listening to you right away. Now I'll give you what you're looking for. There you go.
I just wanted to show this right now because it's going through LaPorte. Look at all those deep reds. Whenever we see that, that's an indication of some very, very heavy rainfall, likely blinding rainfall right now, just going through LaPorte down towards Kinkford Heights. And this can make its way as far south maybe as North Liberty, Walkerton areas, as far as kind of that blinding rain over towards Valpo as well. And again, you can certainly tell that the atmosphere is primed for these heavy downpours with just how thick and heavy the air is this morning. So lots of moisture in the air for these thunderstorms to kind of work with, and lots of lightning as well. And of course, if you're watching this on Facebook Live or on the WNDU app or watching us on WNDU.com, let us know what you're seeing. If you saw absolutely nothing, if it was just plain old rain, that's fine as well. Or if you say, hey, I've got this nice limb down, I had to pull over on the side of the road, let us know as well. But your reports are helpful. Again, I just love that you can see this right here, that it has gone past Michigan City. And then again, thanks to our Skyview cams, we can truly see that it has passed there. Even though I have to get to Michiana Unsolved, I find this so fascinating, like you too. Again, I want to take us back to South Bend here, where we're slowly seeing it make its way here. So it will very soon. Yeah, we're going to pop back on the weather graph. I've got a kind of a 4-box here, a quad box. And you can certainly tell in the upper left-hand corner here when you see this image pop on.
Sorry, it's giving me a little delay here.
I saw you froze for a second. I was like, what was that?
We're moving too fast for this, I think. Oh, no. Hold on.
Did we break it?
I may have broken it. Did I break it? I hope I didn't break it. Let me do a little refresh on this router real quick. Hold on one sec. Let me see if we can
right.
get this up for us.
But anyways, if you're in South Bend right now, we're here in our WNDU studios, which is right on the campus of the University of Notre Dame. We're even hearing a few rumbles of the thunder right now. So again, do take cautions to get inside, as there is going to be lightning present with this, as this does move through a downtown South Bend, Mishawaka, Osceola, Granger ways. But as far as severe weather goes, that's not the case this morning. Just some lightning, some downpours, as well as some brief gusty wind speeds that could be in excess of 30 miles per hour.
I legit broke it. I don't know.
At least we got the meat in.
We got the meat in. You saw what we were talking about. You're going to stay on top of it. You guys post on social media. I don't. You can see it right here. It's a black screen.
Yeah, right now,
know.
let me just go ahead and time out the lightning here from South Bend.
Sorry.
It's about 10 miles away right now from downtown South Bend, so that just kind of gives you an indication if you're watching from South Bend, Mishawaka, Granger, Osceola. Time to get inside, as we have some lightning that's going to be around here over the next 30 minutes.
All right. Andrew, are you sticking around for Michiana Unsolved? You've never hung out for that.
Never hung out
do you
before.
want to? You got to run? What do you think?
I do need to go to a news meeting. How long is this going to take, do you think?
It may take a little bit of time.
May take a little bit?
Yeah. Well, at least you can get the intro bit of it, okay?
I'll stay for the intro here.
Let's talk about it. So, obviously, Andrew had to jump in here because obviously we're talking severe storms, which I totally will make time for always because that matters. But this also matters too. So I was approached by Lieutenant Kayla Miller, Andrew. I meet with her every week to highlight these unsolved cases. As you know, normally we're recording in studio when you're in there as well. And she said, hey, you know what? I was approached by the Elkhart County Homicide Unit, which I love because the goal of this piece isn't just to highlight South Bend cases. It truly is to cover all of Michiana. So if a police department or county unit or homicide unit says, hey, could you please? Of course, the answer is always going to be yes. And the more we dug into this story, the more my heart breaks, and now I want to look for answers. Our photographer, Caleb, and I went out, and actually we didn't have a lot of video of this because it was a really, really busy weekend in Elkhart when this happened. And it was interesting. So I always look back to see if we have any video, and this happened in 2011. Apparently there were 3 other shootings during that time. So obviously we're a visual medium. I needed something, right? So we ended up going over to her gravesite. And that just really, whenever I do that, it just sits with me.
Sets a different tone and
completely. This is someone's friend, their daughter, their grandchild. And so basically I'm going to jump right into it right now to really try to figure out what happened to this 19-year-old. Sorry, too soon. And so, basically now what I do, I'm going to go into a sit down conversation I had with Lieutenant Kayla Miller. The goal is to give you all the details, hopefully refresh something, and then lead to somebody giving a tip. So let's check this out and see what happened to Ariana Pendleton, 19 years old, not even 20.
We're talking about a case that is now almost 13 years old, and they are really hoping that we can bring some new awareness to this case, and hopefully through this segment, maybe get them just a little bit closer to getting some answers. So thank you to the Elkhart County Homicide Unit for being so open to this segment, and hopefully we can work together to get some of those answers for them. Absolutely. So let's start from the beginning, because this was a young girl who was killed. It is, and it is incredibly heartbreaking. We're going back, like I said, almost 13 years, and it was October 22nd of 2011. It was just before midnight when 19-year-old Ariana Pendleton and one of her friends had stopped at a house to visit at 234 Dr. King Drive there in Elkhart. They parked their car in the backyard, and that's when a suspect, an unknown black male about mid-30, described as being around 6 feet tall and 200 pounds, approached them. Ariana and her friend were startled. They turned and started to run, and that's when shots rang out. Elkhart police and fire were dispatched for numerous calls about shots fired, and they found Ariana and her friend both suffering from gunshot wounds. Ariana was unresponsive, lying there in the backyard of 234 Dr. King Drive. They were both rushed to the hospital, and the friend survived his injuries, but sadly Ariana did not, and she succumbed to those injuries at the hospital. Like I said, she was 19 years old, barely more than just a kid, and having grown up there in Elkhart and having attended Concord High School. with so much life left to live ahead of her. She was described as being full of life and always having a smile on her face and always being upbeat. And she loved joking with her friends and hanging out with them, talking with them on the phone. But she also loved her nieces and nephews, and family was important to her. She had 5 sisters, many aunts and uncles, parents, grandparents.
I'm so curious. I'm wondering if this was kind of a kind of robbery gone wrong. Was, was she the intended target? Do we know? Do we have any of those details from the friend who got shot and is still alive?
So I don't have those details. Detectives are keeping a lot of things very close to their chest, and a lot of times they do that. Speaking then from that side of things, a lot of times we hold those details close to us. So then that way, as we progress through the investigation and we do get information from witnesses or people who have heard things, we can then validate whether or not that information is accurate, or if it's something that they've just heard through news stories or heard through, is it something that they've heard that way, or is it something that they've actually heard because someone who's involved has been talking? And so someone who's there knows and only those people know, or is it because everyone knows because we've talked about it? So a lot of those things they are holding on to, because like I said, it sounds as if they have, they've got a lot of those pieces. So they know quite a bit of information, at least it's sounding that way, that they just need a little bit more. This is one that just kind of weighs heavy with me. And I pray that we can, as a community, that we can find it in deep within us, that we can find those answers, we can come together, we can provide the little bit of information that maybe is still needed to help these detectives take that next step and be able to get some closure for this family and get them the answers that they have been waiting for all these years. And nothing can bring her back. We know that. But at the same time, they deserve the justice. They deserve the answers. They deserve to be able to know exactly what happened that night. And just like you had all those questions of what happened, they have those questions too, because until this case is resolved and goes through the trial, those details, not only do they not get answered to the community, they can't be answered to the family, because they need to be held on to until we can hold people accountable. And and my heart breaks. It really does for this family. And I pray that we can get some detail that helps bring this case to that next step.
And you guys have done that so much in the past. You guys have been so instrumental in making sure that we can share this on social media, that we can make sure that we can share this as far as we can, whether it's on our Facebook pages or Twitters, whatever, because we just have no idea who we could be in contact with who may know something. Again, if you are just joining us, we started with a little bit of weather because we have some strong storms. We're moving through Michiana right now that you can probably hear as rain has finally hit South Bend. But then we moved on to our weekly Michiana Unsolved. And this is where we highlight a case. In this case, it is this beautiful 19-year-old girl who was shot and killed October 22nd, 2011. You're looking at 19-year-old Ariana Pendleton. Here's what happened, okay? They went to 234 Drive, Dr. King Drive, 234 Dr. King Drive in Elkhart. Ariana was with a friend. They were visiting another friend at that home. And they were parking their car in the backyard, and this individual came up to them and pulled out a gun, and they ran, and that individual started firing. That individual is being described as a black male, mid-30s, about 6 feet tall, weighing 200 pounds. The Elkhart County Homicide Unit is still very active in this case, and they are asking you to come forward with any information that you may have. It's just so important because, not only are you doing the right thing, but you can actually get a reward. So if money may motivate you, $2,500, and you can call them, you can go online, you can use your mobile app, And we always talk about it, every single tip 100% anonymous. And as soon as you submit that tip, you're going to get your own individual code number that you can then look back and check to see if your tip was useful. And if it was, you would be eligible for some money if it led to the arrest or solving of this case. But I want to thank you so much for jumping on here with me each and every week. You are so instrumental in doing what we do. I want to thank the Elkhart County Homicide Unit for being willing to share this story with us and this case. Next time, if they are open, I would absolutely love to have them on this podcast, because I think it makes such a difference for you guys to actually see the individuals working behind the scenes, of course, because they know every detail there is to know. But then I do also want to say, if you're a police department and you have a case that's unsolved, we want to hear from you. We want to expand this as far as we can. And you at home, if you have a case that you really want to see answers to or get an update or highlighted, please let us know. We would love to do so. That's what this is all about, our community working for each other. So I thank you so much for joining us here today. I know it was a longer one because of weather, but both very important subjects. And it's what we do. We got to work together as a community. So if you have any information, please submit a tip. Otherwise, we're going to have a brand new case for you next week, and I just appreciate always your support, okay? So stay dry, stay safe, and please come forward if you have any information. I'm Karsten, and this is another edition of Michiana Unsolved. Thanks for joining us.